Hi guys, welcome to my channel Finmom. I try to make finance simple for you. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And if you like the video, hit like at the end of it. Also, do not forget to press the bell icon to never miss another video from Finmom. Let's get started. In my previous videos, we talked about saving and investing. We talked about why saving is important, and not just saving, but investing is important so that you can beat inflation and get a good return on your money. Your money has to make money. So let us learn some ways that your money can make money. Let us talk about investment products. In this video, I'll be talking about land, building, REIT, and a surprise at the end. So we start with land. Now, land, as we all know, has a very emotional impact on all of us. We have all been associated with a plot of land. It might be your ancestral property, it might be some agricultural property, and it might simply be the home that you spent your childhood in. So anyway, land, building are a part of us, a part of our growing up. So we all want to invest in land and building. We all want to have a piece of land to our name, or at least a home to our name. So land, like I said, is a very lucrative asset, not just because it has an emotional connect, but because it gives you good returns. It is known to be a very less volatile asset, and it has been known to give you a good return in the past. Land as an asset has given a really good return over the long term for some people. I have seen some people becoming millionaires just by selling off their land and living off it. It's a very comfortable life. In fact, I sometimes wonder that my domestic help might be richer than me because of the amount of land they own in their villages. And you would think that village has not been developed yet. The value in villages might be less than metros, but let me tell you this, it's simple economics. Land as a resource is limited, the supply is limited, but the demand with the rising population keeps growing. So the demand keeps growing while the supply stays same. As such, the price goes up. So the value of land in the long run will always go up because there'll always be a demand for land. So as such, a very good asset. So when you're diversifying your portfolio, it is very, it's a nice asset to add to your asset mix. And at the same time, it is an expensive asset. You spend a considerable amount of money when you buy a piece of land. So land is an expensive affair, but gives you a good return and is a traditional method of investment, so many people can relate to it. It is right in front of your eyes. So the potential for income is quite high, because even if you're not selling your property, you can lease it out for agricultural purpose if it's an agricultural land, or you can give it to developers to, make some commercial building, or you can make a residential building. So nowadays, what people do is, people who own a huge tract of land in urban cities, they are giving their plots to developers to make an apartment complex there, so that they can, get an apartment and get some money, and the maintenance and everything gets taken care of. So that's a new method of utilizing your land these days. But that's, when you have a huge piece, you can't do it with 2000, 1000 SFT. It has to be a little bigger than that. Apart from that, some people use the intelligence to buy plots in a little underdeveloped areas. So once the areas develop, once urbanization reaches there, the value of the plot goes up. So they get a good return on their investment. Now, I have seen a latest development where people take a personal loan or a consumer loan and they buy a piece of land. I'll not go into that, but when you're taking a decision like that, please see that the investment that you're making, whatever return you're getting on your investment, vis-a-vis the interest that you're paying on the loan, should still give you a net positive cash flow. So, just ensure that, and then you're good to go. It's again something that you have to take a call on. But I'll advise that if you have a good amount of money saved or invested in some other asset, and you find a piece of land that you want to buy, then it's a good asset to be added in your portfolio. Now, when you're buying a land, there is a risk involved. Now, many people tell you that this is a risk-free asset, that is a risk-free asset. I never tell you that anything is risk-free. Everything involves risk. Whatever you do, there is some amount of risk involved. So whatever you're investing in, whether it is within your risk appetite or not, is something that only you can decide on. But nothing is risk-free. So land has its own risk. There are risks of frauds, there are risks of encroachments, and there are risks that land might not be utilized in a way that you originally wanted it to. So it is very important that you consider certain things before you purchase a land. To begin with, check ownership. And not just ownership, but you have to check the flow of title. Now, while I was working in the bank, I have noticed this, that in case the chain of title is not intact, only the ownership does not give anybody the right to sell that property to you. So you have to ensure that the chain of title is intact. And if you have to take help of a lawyer, take it. When you're investing such a big amount, spending 5,000-6,000 to get an opinion on the property should not bother you. And it is, some form of insurance that you have because you have checked the title of the property. Not all of us are, knowledgeable enough to know and go and check the title, though it has been made very easy these days. You can go and you can get an encumbrance certificate online, but it is still better when you're investing such a huge amount to get a legal opinion on your property. It helps you know about the ownership, and not just that, it also tells you if there are any environmental concerns associated with the plot, if there are any zoning regulations. Now, you might want the property to build a 4-story building. But as per the regulation, you can only build a 2-story building in that property. So that doesn't serve your purpose. Taking a legal opinion, checking for zoning regulation will help you know whether you can utilize the plot of land for the purpose that you are buying it for. It is also wise to check if there are any future projects that are coming up in that area. It helps you determine whether the value of land is going to increase in the future. So that ensures that you're going to get a good return on your property. But then again, nothing is sure. Also, check for access to utilities, road, electricity and other infrastructure before you invest in a plot of land. Now, I told you somewhere in the video that if you buy a land in an underdeveloped area and sooner or later that area gets developed, you get a good return. But at the same time, whether that area is going to be developed and how many years is something that you have to take a call on before you invest in a plot of land. Apart from that, also check for the soil quality and drainage in that area and everything if you're planning to build a house on that. Now, before I end this section on land, I would like to tell you that while I do not advise taking a personal loan or a consumer loan to buy a plot of land, there are certain banks which give you loan to buy a plot of land and construct your house on it. So in that case, you get to buy the plot of land at a home loan interest rate, which is considerably lesser than your personal loan or consumer loan. And at the same time, you're getting a loan sanctioned for construction of the building as well. Now, there are some caveats to it. You have to construct within a particular period, otherwise they levy commercial rate of interest. So that you have to decide and take a call on. But there is an option where you can take help from the bank to buy the plot of land and construct your home on that. So moving on to home or building. Now again, I like to tell this to everybody who comes and tells me, oh, I'm buying a home because it's a good investment, I'd like to tell this to you. When you're buying a house to live in it, when it's your home, there is a very less probability that you're going to sell that property to get a return. It's your home after all. So when you're buying a building, just keep this in mind, whether you're buying the house or the building to live in it or to rent it out. So the decision on which property you buy would be based on what you want to do with the property. Like land, with building also, you have to check for the title, you have to check for ownership, you have to check for zoning regulation, amenities, infrastructure. Everything that you check in land is something that you also check for building, and some more. And there are also legal disputes associated with some projects. So that is also something that you need to check. You need to see the amenities that are available in case you want to buy in a community. But then again, the decision is based on whether you want to live there or you want it as an investment. See, when you want it as an investment, spending a bomb on interiors and paying more because there are so many amenities in the communities does not make sense, because ultimately you are not going to use it. Somebody else, your tenant, is going to use it, and you might not get a rent that is proportional to the amount invested. So you have to decide what you want to do with the building, and then you have to buy the building accordingly. I tell people not to spend a bomb on interiors, but everybody, when it's your first home, everybody, and I mean including me, somehow splurges on the interiors and the decor and everything. So home loan, most people, what they do is they know that bank takes a 25% to 30% margin in some cases, and accordingly when they have 25% saved, they go and they apply for a loan and they buy a house. In case you're planning to do that, please, while you're accounting for the costs, please take into consideration the bank charges, the legal opinion charges, the stamp duty, and again, moving in, moving out charges and everything. When you're calculating that, just having the margin amount is not enough to buy a property. You have to account for other costs. Now, I'm going to make a video on whether you're ready to be a homeowner or not. Please do check it out. But coming back to building. Now, like I said, check the title, check the ownership, check for amenities, check for a reputed builder, check for the construction quality. I'm sure you would say that how would we check the construction quality? But if you're taking a loan from a bank, that the valuer who gives the value for the house basically tells you what's the material used and how the construction is, how sturdy it is. If not, take an independent opinion to assess the quality of the house, because that is very important. See, you buy a property now and it might get seepage issues or such issues in the future. So it is very important that you know in advance what property you are investing in, because it again involves a considerable amount of money, and it is again a lucrative asset because it gives you good return and it has given good return in the past. So in the long run, a building will give you good return. But at the same time, do know this, that the value of a building depreciates. Why? Because there is wear and tear. Any material that has been used in the building goes through wear and tear. Sun, rain, fog, thunderstorm, all of that takes a toll on the building, and so the value of a building depreciates, but the value of the land on which it stands goes up. So sometimes that is enough to net it off, but when it is not, then the value of your building will go down compared to the amount you invested in. So that is also something you should keep in mind while investing in a building. Now, we are done with land, we are done with building. Now let us explore something else which also is an asset that can be added to your portfolio. It is something that you can use to diversify your portfolio, and something that is related with land and building. I am talking about real estate investment trusts. Now, REITs allow individuals to invest in large-scale income-producing real estate. So, real estate investment trust pool in the resources of investors and invest that money in commercial real estate, in building shopping complexes, building complexes and storage facilities, warehouses, places where events take place, so on and so forth. So while you as an investor whose risk appetite is fairly lower cannot directly invest in real estate or such big commercial projects, REITs help you get an ownership over those projects in the form of units. So, as an investor, you invest whatever amount you feel is fair to be added in your portfolio, and they pool in all these resources and invest in big projects. Now, the difference between real estate developer and real estate investment trust is while a real estate developer buys real estate, develops it and sells it off, REITs develop properties, hold these assets and get rental or lease revenue from them. And that income is again distributed to the unit holders. So REITs are a safer way of making or holding ownership over larger investments. Now you would think whether REITs are safe. Now REITs are governed by SEBI. So it's fair to say that they are a safer investments. But then again, like I said, it is your risk appetite which will help you decide whether you should invest in a REIT or not. Now let's come to something a little unconventional. Something that's been trending these days. That's called asset tokenization. A couple of days back, I wrote an article on asset tokenization and I've given the link to the article in the description. You can check that out and let me know how you felt about it. Briefly saying, asset tokenization uses the blockchain technology to help you own a fraction of asset. Something sort of a cryptocurrency, but it is backed by real estate. So do check out the article if you want to know more, and if you want me to make a video on it, please let me know in the comment section. So we talked about land, building, REITs, and we got introduced to asset tokenization in the video. In the next video, we'll explore some more investment products. So please stay tuned. And if you've not subscribed the channel till now, please subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss another video. See you in the next video. Bye.